welcome to our virtual CAF. Hi Som, thanks for joining us. It's a space where we have created to innovate people and provide hope, especially to people going through uncertain times at the moment, especially with this pandemic, and people have, life's a bit of a roller coaster for many at the moment. So yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you. So our ethos as a company is to drive a more open and inclusive and diverse society. It's really important for us, regardless of someone's social or ethnical background or their gender or sexual orientation. So for us, it's an absolute pleasure to have you joining us today. And Som, you're an androgynous model, actor and filmmaker. You're from New Delhi. You've worked with some major names in the industry. So we're really excited to hear from you. And I guess for us, obviously, COVID's been a very difficult time for many people. It would be great to hear from you, your experiences of last year, and obviously what you're bringing into this year to help you through.
Absolutely. So I think my experience last year was quite similar to most of the people. It was first of all quite new, so I wasn't very sure how to deal with it and stuff, because we have, at least I have never been through a pandemic before because I'm quite young. And yeah, it was quite weird for me to just stay at home for a couple of months and not doing anything, because basically I work on different kind of projects, and I mostly work by myself. So most of my projects were canceled or postponed to I think late June or July. So that was quite stressful for me, because I always like to keep busy. I always love to keep working, doing different things. So yeah, but I think the way I felt better was through online internet activism. So basically I also spoke to the company Unilad about this a couple weeks ago. And basically I was talking to them about how I use the internet to raise more awareness about my activism, and to raise more awareness about the issues that I'm working towards. So that was quite nice, and that kept me busy and stuff. And at the same time I was also working on something that I'm really passionate about. So I think that's one of the ways that helped me get through the pandemic, for sure. So yeah.
So those passions, I guess they kept you focused. It'd be good to hear a bit more about those passions. What are they?
Absolutely. So basically one of my biggest passions is raising awareness about androgyny, so people know that people like us exist. But I think not many people even know what androgyny means. So I'll start with explaining what it means. So basically it means when a person has both masculine and feminine characteristics, and they like to express themselves in both masculine and feminine, quite feminine and stuff. So I'm it's really cute. I love. But also at other times I like to express myself in a quite masculine manner. So for example, 3 weeks ago I had this full beard. I looked really manly and stuff. So yeah, basically androgyny is kind of about gender expression. And people often confuse androgyny with being non-binary, but being non-binary is more about sex, while being androgynous is more about gender. So it's two quite different things. There's a very slight difference, but it's still quite a major difference. So yeah, it's mostly about gender expression, and I'm working to raise more awareness about it, so people know that if you're a guy, for example, you don't have to stick to looking masculine, and similarly if you're a girl, you don't have to stick to looking feminine stuff. And people would think that androgyny is mostly a queer issue, but it's not, because a couple of months ago, when Harry Styles was on the cover of Vogue, there was this huge backlash that he received because he wore a skirt that he never received before when he acted in a masculine manner. So androgyny is not just a queer issue, it's a human issue. Yeah. And that's why I really want to raise more awareness about it.
Yeah, I think it's really important, and this is something that we're really passionate about, is raising awareness for differences. It shouldn't matter what someone chooses that they want to do or act like in their life. And I think the problem is, in society, people are boxed and labelled, and from a young age we're programmed to think a certain way. So I think it's really refreshing that you're, pushing this agenda and that you're talking about it. And, we should be able to talk about things like it should be open, honest discussions.
Should always be open and honest. And I think you're quite open as well, like reading through your website and your social medias and stuff. And I remember reading, you were saying, there was even in this day and age, 2020, 2021, you walk down the street and people can throw stuff at you while, because of the way you're dressed or because of what you're wearing. And I just find it like, it boggles my mind why anyone would think it's okay to do that just because you're going on with your everyday life. And I just don't understand why people think things like this is acceptable. And I think it's really good how open you are and how honest you are about it. And I think that helps to make people more comfortable to want to speak about it and raise more awareness. It's crazy. I don't understand why people feel.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
The hate like we receive is like not just like bad in terms of because it's hate, but like it's also bad because like it like limits your growth as a person. Mm-hmm. So like once like you like start like receiving hate on like quite a regular basis, you like start like refraining from the stuff that like you receive hate for, and although those things like make you who you are, you like don't feel comfortable enough doing those things anymore. So like that stops your growth as a person as well. So it's like not just about like the hate act being a hate act, but like it's also about you like limiting your personal growth because of this. So like it's like really bad like in both respects. So I think like that's why it's even more important to like raise awareness about this, so people could like allow to like reach to their maximum potential, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I think expression of how you feel is so important, and you should be able to do that. And yes, I mean, we're very fortunate to live in a society where we can be more open, but you need to control what you're saying as an individual and how that impacts other people. It's crazy to me that people do that. So for you, during the pandemic, have you had your friends there to support you, and have you been reaching out to them? Like, how have you found the whole being able to interact with other people?
I mean, it was okay. How to explain it? Like, it was both very new, but like also like very exciting for me because like during the entire pandemic, I was like living in my house, like just with my sister here, and all my friends, like they like went back to their homes as well because like they wanted to be in the support bubbles with their families. So it was just like me, like with my sister here, like for, well, what is it, like 12 months now? Because I was also like, I know, right? Yeah, because I was like also planning on flying back to India to like see my family for Christmas and New Year, but like that like didn't work out because during December, like the pandemic was quite bad and stuff, and like I was quite afraid of taking the virus with me because like I'll be like traveling on a flight and stuff, and like it's like a long journey. But yeah, so it's been like quite interesting, and I think like in the process I've like also started connecting like with my online audience more. So like for example, like there's like so many like people like on my Instagram account who like I wouldn't normally have the opportunity to like talk to normally, but then during the pandemic, like when I was like sharing my experiences on like Instagram stories and stuff like that, like people would like reply to those stories and be like, Som, I really like identify with their experiences and stuff, and like I really relate to you. So yeah, it just is like really nice to like find people who get what you're experiencing and who could like relate to your like experiences and stuff, because like that way like not only you feel supported, but like also like they feel supported, because like, it's like a little like nice supportive community. It's been like quite interesting in like that sense.
Yeah, so I guess that's been your positives really, is being able to focus more on building those relationships, having those discussions, spending more time developing what you're passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and then so in terms of the negatives, what are the real negatives for you that were like, oh my God, I can't deal with this?
I mean, I think the biggest negative was like, I don't know, just being stuck at home and like not going out to work and stuff. Like that just like really put me down like for the first like couple of weeks, because as I said before, like I'm like quite used to like going out and like working and like doing like different things. So when suddenly you're like kind of like forced into this like little house and like you're like not allowed to like leave and stuff, that's quite a different experience, and it feels quite negative. But yeah, I think I was like also like able to like turn that negative into positive by like as I said before, like doing the activism thing and like the online activism thing. um so yeah, I think just like staying at home and like not being able to like see my friends and family in person was like the biggest negative of like the pandemic, and like I'm hoping like it ends soon so I could like finally see my parents.
Us too.
Yeah, I think everyone's missing human interaction, and like you said, missing your parents and your friends and family, and just having that community. I mean, it's great having the virtual community, which is amazing, and I think it's saved. Yeah, I think we, as human beings, we thrive on touch and being around each other. So I think everyone is there with you on that one. I think we all miss our family and friends, but hopefully, like you said, we'll be back to normal.
Yeah. So I guess for other people who might be experiencing what you're experiencing and going through, you know, being stuck at home and in that environment, and you know, you said you turned it into a positive, which is amazing. So what kind of tips or advice would you give other people going through that?
I would say that like the pandemic is like quite nice in the sense that like you have the time to like focus on things that like, you haven't been able to focus on before. So I think like the things that like also got me through the pandemic were being able to work out and stuff, because like normally like when I'm working and stuff, I don't really have so much time to like focus on working out and focusing on like doing things that I love. I really got into like cooking, which is like quite exciting because I also like love cooking. So yeah, I think like just like doing things that like you love would help like this pandemic feel like, you know, easier and like nicer. And also like if you are like a creative like me, I think it's like the best time to like share your creativity like with social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook and stuff, because like there's like a whole community out there who would, you know, love to check your stuff out. So yeah, just like being creative and like doing things that you love would like definitely like help the pandemic feel nicer. And also like for me, like if I'm like feeling like quite depressed and stuff, I would like turn to like TV shows that have like always made me happy, and like watch those like TV shows maybe like for the 500th time. So at the moment, like what I'm watching is New Girl, like for like literally the 50th time, and every time I watch it, it like makes me
it's
super,
so
super
good,
happy. Like,
isn't it? It's brilliant. Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
I love Zoe now. She's such a good actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like maybe like watch like, I don't know, films and TV shows that are like that have always made you happy, because that would like make you happy if you're depressed now and you feel better. So
yeah, I think that's really good advice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Monique, it's the same for you, I guess, you know, being indoors with the family and having to come up with things to keep occupied.
You try and have to find so many things to keep yourself busy. I mean, I've resorted to repainting furniture, redecorating, and I think my boyfriend's a bit fed up with me because he's just like, what are you doing now? I'm just gonna paint your side table. I've emptied out everything, all his socks and stuff, and painted his side table.
I really wish I had the skill to like paint my own furniture, but like I don't.
No, you can do it. Just to go ahead and do it. Like literally, I think that's the one thing this pandemic has done for a lot of people is, what are you really going to lose? Like, you're at home, let me just get on and let me see how I get on with it. Just DIY it. Like you said, you've started cooking more, which is great. You know, it helps. One, it saves money. Two, it's also like cooking makes me feel good. I enjoy doing little bits and bobs like that. So you have to find things to keep you busy. And I think definitely watching films and stuff, I think a lot of us have. We went back and watched Ugly Betty all over again, Desperate Housewives all over again. I think we've watched like Friends about 100 times. My daughter loves Friends, so she's constantly watching it. So exactly that. It's all those feel-good things, those feel-good films, movies, things that, you know, remind you of happier times. So yeah, I'll definitely agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, Som, thank you again. You've been a real inspiration, and it's been lovely chatting to you and hearing about your journey through the pandemic and how you've turned a negative into a positive, and hopefully others can take inspiration from that. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much, Som. It was great meeting you as well. And keep going, keep working hard,
good luck.
Spreading your word, and I hope everything turns out amazing for you.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Take care.